Hello and welcome to the inaugural edition of Eduleader Speaks series. We have with us Fatema Agarkar, one of India's leading educationists and parenting experts. She is also the co-founder of Mumbai-based Agarkar Centre for Excellence. Focusing on trans-disciplinary pedagogies, ACE has launched several sports and life skill programs. It has also launched very interesting mobile apps which connect learning with sports. Fatima, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be in conversation with Education World.
Where would you place education on your national list of priorities?
Number one,
Or less?
I think a lot of us in the education space have been battling with this, that it isn't the number one priority. I mean, if you have to think about the future of this country, we are going to be, the population that will dictate what happens tomorrow in terms of industry globally. We
Okay.
need to invest in that. And for me, it's going to be the number one priority.
What is your assessment of the past year? And if you had to rate the Indian K-12 education scenario and its response to the pandemic, what would you rate it as?
So,
How would you rate
I'm
it?
just going to say that there's been a communication lag between parents and school managements in the private sector. And that needs to be addressed. I worry about that. I think that's one of the things that for me is very important as a big takeaway. Um, there's a dissonance between the two parties, and I think that needs to be addressed. And I think there's a dialogue involved. As far as how we've done, I still think we've done much better. 1.3 billion people, we're going to have our challenges, but we've still done well to
Some issues, yeah.
to embrace.
Okay. All right. Fatima, we know that you've been a great proponent of harnessing the power of digital technologies for education. The past year has seen Indian educators switch on to online learning, but it's not been without its problems, as you also agreed right now. That there have been problems of access, of training, and there have been scores of problems. So, what are your suggestions if we have to make Indian education digitally ready?
So we may not see a physical world. So we're going to have to work with a blend. And if that blend is in existence, we're going to have a mindset that also embraces it. So for me, my worry is when parents treat this as transition,
Hmm.
get over and then we'll be normal. That normal hasn't happened for 15 months now. So we've got to embrace a world and we have to believe technology is aiding. So I keep telling parents this one thing, that it's allowing teachers to understand the mindset of children never before,
Okay.
because they're able to go through their videos, they can track information, they know which child has responded. For the next class they're more reactive. I think it's a huge enabler. The best of the situation is possible because you've actually got power
Yeah.
with technology. I mean, I think we seem to put it down with the negatives as opposed to treating it by saying, hey, listen, there's a way to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that really is the mindset that I hope will change, because
Okay.
technology will enable, technology will enhance, technology is your powerhouse, technology will help, and all children.
Okay. All right. We have a new Union Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan. What should be the three top priorities for him?
Right. Okay. So you have no easy questions for me. I'm hoping to see a better public private partnership. I mean, I think that's been a play for a lot of people in private education. We can help, we can aid. My second bit would be building capacities. I mean, we cannot now say we have connectivity issues. So the point that you raised earlier, that's no longer an excuse. Now this has to be a solution that's generated. It's like infrastructure, right? You need roads.
Yeah.
We need accessibility. I think we need to recognize that rural India needs connectivity. So that's my building capacity and capabilities, and of course, teacher training. I still feel that's a huge area that has not received the kind of importance um, that it needs, because the future of our country is going to be handled by teachers who are going to impart that information. So unless they're skilled, I'm not sure how that future can be protected.
So true. Okay. So now here are the easy questions. They're questions
Ah.
about you. Okay. All right. So how would you describe your leadership style?
Ooh. I'm hoping people who worked under me will think of me as flexible. I believe in empowerment. For me, I revel when my team members do well. So I want them to succeed. I believe that in their success is my success. So I'm one of those easy bosses.
Okay. Good to be working under you then in that case. All right. Okay. And how satisfied are you with the growth and the development of ACE?
So interesting journey, because we were born out of COVID-19. Very interesting because we were able to connect with a lot of partners, associate partners, as far as education is concerned. Of course, sport takes a bit of a backseat, right? Because it's not in the physical world. But we're launching a sports curriculum with higher education at the moment. So we're excited about that. We've launched Cricket Math, which is a blend of cricket and math, two very diverse subjects. But we've blended it, and online gaming works. So gamification is also possible, but we do it in a different way. So we have an offline and online version.
Fatima, how do you think? What would you say about the laws with regards to promoting education as an industry in the country?
It's an interesting point, because it's also very important to understand that our laws, do not really support young entrepreneurs to come in. There are restrictions, there are too many protocols. If that can be more streamlined, we'll see a lot more progress. We'll have a lot more, entrepreneurs coming into that. And also, I think that works really well for a democratic setup, right? Best practices, more professionalism. And if it can be streamlined, I think you'll attract a lot more talent, which again augments really well for the future of our country.
Okay, some quick questions. What's your favorite book on education?
Schools that think.
Okay. A Nobel laureate that you look up to?
Ooh. Uh, so I'm caught between economics and philanthropy, and I'm going to go with Mother Teresa.
Okay. All right. A thinker and a philosopher. A thinker or a philosopher, whoever you admire the most.
Okay, so I'm going to not do the traditional stuff. For me, it's my father.
Oh, okay.
Education has taught me one thing, that it's all about application, right? What you do with that knowledge. For me, my father has always taught me two things: contingency, problem solving. There's a solution for everything, and I don't think there's been a bigger thinker than him.
Are you pessimistic or optimistic about the future of education in India?
Super optimistic, simply because we have a lot of potential. We've got talent in terms of teachers, we have resources, we have capability in terms of leadership as well. It's about all of it coming together as a collaborative effort, which is what we spoke about. It has to be a public-private partnership that works. India has huge potential. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Fatima, thank you very much for being with us. It was a short interview, but a very enjoyable interview.
Thank